This is Shelby Busch, everybody. In the Arizona audit, thanks, Shelby, good to have you. And the Arizona audit, when we heard about this thing went on for months, right? Well, there's two parts of this audit that we heard about. One thing that I heard about was right before the audit, they deleted the cyber stuff. And we heard about it, and I'm going, well, whatever happened with that? And I think that's what you'll be talking about, right? Because the news didn't put this out there. And then the second part of this, we're going to talk about what Fox News did when they came out of their foxhole and they actually said, yep, that Arizona audit, Biden actually won. They did it. That's the only thing they ever said about it. Shame on you, Fox, again. There's a lot of shame on Fox going on.
So Brian Ramirez is a gentleman you see featured in this picture. He is a cyber forensic expert that works for Maricopa County. One of the senior officials let him in using their access credentials the day before they were scheduled to turn over the servers to Cyber Ninja. And at that exact timestamp and mark of the deleted files, he was left alone to access the servers and delete these files, and we caught him on camera. And so there he is. There's a rule that 2 or more people must be in at the same time while the KPU is being accessed. He went in, he deleted these files, and they are exact timestamp matches to the files that disappeared and was missing from the server at the time Cyber Ninja did their forensic audit. And this was 1 day before it was turned over to the Senate while under subpoena.
Wow, can you believe that? Deleted this the day before.
This man does not have security clearance to be in that room by himself. The assistant election director used her credentials to let him in multiple times.
Okay, so did its criminal charges been pressed against this guy?
Not at all, and we've provided this to the Attorney General on numerous occasions.
This is the horrible Attorney General, it's Bonovich, right?
Yes.
In Arizona. Once again, another blocker. That Attorney General in Arizona, you talk about a blocker. We're going to talk a lot about blockers this afternoon. All of you are in your stories this afternoon. By the way, everybody, stay tuned for the State of the States address. Every state will be up here in alphabetical order. But I'll tell you what about Arizona. All these things, Arizona, I believe, had more blockers than any other state when it comes, from the committee or the commissioners to your legislators, a few of them. A lot of them were really brave down there that wouldn't give up, and they kept fighting and fighting. To the Attorney General. This is a shame. This guy's committed felonies against our country, not just Arizona. This is against our country. I mean, what do you guys think in Arizona when you see stuff like this? And what does the media do? What does the local media say about this?
They completely gaslight us, as did the county. They claimed that they archived this, that it was never deleted, that everything was turned over to the Senate, and that there was nothing to hide until they found out we had caught them on videotape. And then the narrative changed slightly, but they still lied. They convoluted the dates. And like you said, we've turned so much evidence over to the Attorney General, and they block us at every turn.
Now, who is this guy?
Okay, so this is Stephen Richer, our Maricopa County recorder. The other gentleman you heard talking at the microphone is Jack Sellers, the chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. These are the men responsible for our election at the highest level.
The ninjas can't even find files that were already given to them by Maricopa County. They can't find the files because they don't know what they're doing. And we wouldn't be asked to do this on-the-job training if qualified auditors had been hired to do this work.
I have been accused of deleting entire databases, though I participated in the transference of all databases to the Senate, have seen them with my own eyes, and even though I still have access to the current fully functional voting database.
Okay, I want to say, everybody, it's guys like that right there. When we do recycle and melt down these machines and make them into prison bars, there's a couple right there. I want to tell all the blockers out there and all the legislatures that are out there and all our current politicians and people like this, there is no in between. You're either going to go down as a traitor or a hero. There's nothing in between this time. Absolutely. Nothing. It's either a traitor or a hero. You don't get to be in the middle. After this weekend ends, they will never be able to play the plausible deniability card ever again. any of them, because they're either doing this and lying, or they sit over here and they just don't want to know. They plug their ears, so then because their moral compass inside, they can lie to themselves and say, oh, maybe there's really nothing out there. If I don't look, I won't have to say either way. But this, what you've seen here, is the cover-up, part of the cover-up. Probably 1 million, or maybe 100,000, whatever it is, one part of the biggest cover-up of the biggest crime in history. That's what this is.
Absolutely. And, when Cyber Ninja came forward and issued the report and said these files were absolutely deleted, they're lying. They didn't know at the time that our organization, We the People AZ Alliance, had been surveilling them and had this video. So when it was announced on September 24th at the Senate audit, Andy Biggs called a congressional hearing, and that's what this is. And all of a sudden, their whole story changed because they were under oath and they were caught on camera.
So they changed their tune here.
They absolutely did.
There we go.
Is it standard practice to delete files off a server after an election?
I would say that it is appropriate to maintain files, and that's exactly what we did. We deleted the deleted files that have been discussed. They were archived.
So you admit that you guys did Maricopa County did delete files off the server after the election?
That are archived.
They didn't have access to those archived files at first. Is that fair to say?
They did not subpoena those. That's correct.
Okay, so you didn't feel obligated to turn that over then to them?
We responded to the subpoena.
Mr. Bennett, your response to that?
I find it frankly laughable to suggest that a county, in response to a subpoena, could say we will delete files from the hard drives and materials that we give to the auditors because we have those files archived on data that we did not give to the auditors when the subpoena said turn over all the records related to the election.
So your Twitter account mentions that the purging of the 2020 election database in the beginning of February is a standard practice. Can you please confirm for me that that's what you do for all elections? After all elections, that you do that?
I cannot confirm that for you today, but we can certainly get you that answer, Congressman.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, can you confirm that today or not?
I really can't confirm that either today. I just know that because there is limited space on these servers, when you have to run another election, then you have to make room for the additional election data.
Can you explain to me why data was still present for prior elections on the databases in and of itself?
Wow.
Yeah, again, I don't have an answer to that question, but we'll certainly get you an answer for it, Congressman.
I would appreciate if you would give me that information.
And I do think that it's important that our recorder has suggested that he will be answering every question in a timely fashion.
That's the same recorder that campaigned that Adrian Fontes was incompetent and called him a criminal, and he was the guy that was running the 2020 election, and you actually hired someone to oversee Mr. Fontes because you guys didn't trust Mr. Fontes as well. Is that the same guy? Is that the same Stephen Richard?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it that way exactly.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
Hey, we have to live there.
It's disbelief. Now, wouldn't you think this stuff would be news? Wouldn't you think that your Fox News or your Newsmax would come out and say, hey, look at this? I mean, how about your local media? Why wouldn't they,
Well, let's see. Our local media covered Clint Hickman, one of our Board of Supervisors, calling one of our senators, Senator Dick. They covered Katie Hobbs using profanities when referring to Arizona citizens who are expressing concerns. They have approached us with such disdain and such hatred that the media, they peg us as election deniers. We are the enemy. They are the victims. And that's all the media cares about.
And they're using this. These are Republicans. Most of these are Republicans on here, right? Your blockers down there?
These are all Republicans.
They're all Republicans, everybody. This is what we have when we get through this weekend, this uniparty, this evil that's out there. The attack of our country, I call it the CCP with the uniparty, the globalists, the world order, all these is what they are. And it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. We, the people, all of the people, I don't care who you are, you get through this weekend and you have to demand these machines have to go. We can't put up with this. we lose our country and our freedoms forever. Shelby, I know you've been down there fighting. Arizona, I want to tell you, everybody, in Arizona, they gave me back in February of 21 and stuff, when I started hearing about the things going down in Arizona and all the people on the ground there, the grassroots, you were one that I talked to back then, and it encouraged me. I didn't feel alone. And it encouraged everybody, and encouragement. We need to encourage the country, the world, all the people. Hey, we have to be encouraged to just step up and say, hey, here's what we have to do. And we are going to have the call to action tomorrow night for the country, for every single citizen. This isn't about Democrat or Republican. In Arizona, what a prime example of people that never gave up. A lot of the reasons you're all here is because you had courage. Anybody that's still saving their courage for a rainy day, it's pouring outside, everybody. You need to get out with it now. Thanks, Shelby.
Amen. Thank you. Remember one thing I just want to share with you. God promises us whatever is hidden in darkness will be revealed in light. And that is why we are all here today.
That's right. God bless you. Thank you.